Hey, my Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. What a week. What a week. Taurus, this is going to be you and Scorpio sitting in the tree, Kissing, for the month of June. I apologize. I looked through my little files last night. I ain't done Taurus and Scorpio since April. So, I've already shuffled and cut the cards. Saw a lot of little things. Purpose and intention. That came through loud and clear. So let's see what we got going on for Taurus and Scorpio for the month of June. Overall energy, hope, and the I want chakra. Sacral chakra. You know, here I go. The sacral chakra. Thank you. Recent past, compassion, rebirth, and new beginnings. Current energy, the waiting game. Your centerpiece and your challenge for the next month, triumphant success. And at the end of the current, the truth. Future energy, time out. Triumph. And synchronicity. So, Taurus and Scorpio. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait till I get all the cards on the table. So, okay. Overall energy, hope is pulling the Emperor, and the sacral chakra, or the I want, is pulling the Six of Cups. Reminder: I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. And let me stop here and say thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed. I love you. Y'all are awesomeness. If you've not, please do hit the little bell at the bottom, and it'll let you know when I'm up and popping. So let's keep going. Compassion, recent past, pulls the Queen of Cups, rebirth, Seven of Coins, new beginnings, Knight of Swords, current energy, waiting game, pulls the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords, I'm sorry, triumphant success, pulls the Knight of Coins, truth, pulls the Hierophant, time out, pulls the Nine of Coins, triumph, pulls the Five of Coins, synchronicity, pulls the Devil card. So whenever I see these two, which is not often, but I have, and some personal readings I've done, this has got a lot to do with karmic destiny. And did I see? I saw the destiny card when I was shuffling, but it's not on the board. Yeah, I saw the destiny card when I was shuffling. But synchronicity in the Devil card. Yeah, there's some karmic shit here with you and your Scorpio. Not necessarily all karmic situations. I don't know if I've said this before. All karmic situations are not fucked up and bad and, just shit going around on the wheel. Sometimes it's about completing things from another lifetime. Sometimes it's about completing things that your souls have agreed to before you got here. Just saying. So this has got that kind of energy. It's kind of got that incomplete type of, you need to get this back together so you can complete whatever cycle. It doesn't necessarily portend a whole lot of arguing, fighting, and unnecessary shit. It does, however, say a lot about growth. So hang on to that thought. Let's go back to the beginning. So, dear Taurus, Emperor, Empress, however, on top of the hope, you are really trying to strike out in a different path. And this is major energy, and I swear Taurus has had a whole bunch of major energy showing up in a whole bunch of readings. Not as much in this particular reading, but this is major energy. You were kind of just stepping back and going, see, it's blowing that way, and it's blowing that way, and it ain't blowing this way. So, for some of you, talking about your relationship with your Scorpio, okay, let me say this part. It's not going to resonate with everybody. Grandmama say, eat the fish, leave the bones. So, take what's yours, leave the rest on the table. a lot of you Tauruses are kind of taking a step back, and you're not just taking a step off from your relationship, but you're trying to really take a bigger view of what's going on in your life all the way around. You're still hopeful about your relationship and the direction that it's going. This is not necessarily going to be for the reading for Taurus and Scorpios that have been banging around for the last 10 years. It's not going to be your reading. This is going to be for newer relationships, probably going to top off at 2 years. So some of you are in that groove where you kind of know what's going on with the relationship, but you may not be as certain as you are of that about other things in your life. So you just kind of taking a step back to see how your relationship is playing into any or all of what's going on in the rest of your life. On the back end of it, all of that I just said, hold that thought. Some of y'all are just reconnecting in this step back part here, that major energy right there. You're really reconnecting. This is not so much about an ex or anything else of that nature, but for some of you, this could be about reconnecting with your Scorpio if you've been separated for any amount of time. And for some of you, this might be resonating with the quarantine. You may have been separated from your partner, got caught up, and all this shit happened in the middle of you being here and them being there. So for a handful of you, that might be the case. But for others of you, this is about reconnecting with your current Scorpio at a different level and thinking about the things that you want. Okay, so I just said over here, taking a step back. And so as this is the top end of your overall energy. As you're doing this, you're really connecting at a different level. It may not feel like it. It sounds contradictory, I know, but that's what it is. Taking a step back. And sometimes in just taking a step back and figuring out what direction you want to go in, oftentimes in any relationship, not just with your Scorpio, it will give you insights about what you're doing, and you just consequently get closer and closer at a higher and different level. There's that hope and all that damn light. And so that's kind of where you're trying to connect with your Scorpio at that higher level. And like I said, for others of you, it's going to be about reconnecting. And in that reconnection, you're making it to that higher level. When you get to your recent past, some of y'all, the shit just got messy. Relationship just got messy. And so if this is a newer relationship, there may have been a breakup, a separation of some sort. And it's just, fuck it, I'm just going to pour the tea, and I can't see the tea, and I got the tea all over the damn table. That kind of energy just got messy. And one or the both of you may have taken a timeouts down here on the board, to reflect on what it is you really want. I'm going to say Taurus probably came out of this, even though this is cup energy. Man, it may have been a Scorpio that got a little messy. It's not about cheating. It's just things left undone and unsaid. You may have taken a break, or you may have just gone to your neutral corners and been like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with you right now. That kind of energy. It may have been lacking, if I were going to read that energy upside down, it may have been lacking the kind of compassion. The breakup may have been lacking that, the timeout, whatever you want to call it. It may have been lacking any kind of form of that purple emotional Scorpio type shit, that emotional shit. It may have just been, it's just fucking messy and y'all just took a time out. But those time out type shits, rebirth. And so in that time out mode, if we go right back up here, you may be done with the time out, but you're still kind of surveying the landscape, if you will. There are changes you want to make, Taurus. And if you cross watch a Scorpio, I'll say the same for you. There are changes within your relationship that you want to make. And it could range from anything to how you handle your finances, to how you're dealing with just around the house chores. But there's a definite shift and a definite change. But back to the recent past, the relationship may have kicked off a rebirth. Okay, so here we redoing and redone and all this shit. It may have kicked off a rebirth for both of you, not just for you, Taurus, not just for you, Scorpio, but for both of you. It may have done that, and may have had you looking at your other achievements up to and including finances a little closer. Whatever happened in that phase that you're coming out of, it may have started when Saturn went into retrograde a few weeks ago, or Jupiter. It just take that damn step back once again, and that just kicked off a rebirth and looking at your achievements and how far you've come. At the end of all of that, it may have kicked off a new beginning for you, and may have been more of an emotional chase. Usually I talk about the horse chasing you, chasing the horse. Not this time. More of an emotional, not emotional, intellectual chasing. One or both of you trying to get in each other's heads and just kind of circling around the wagons, not really getting directly to the point, because again, you're trying to start a new beginning. So this may have been where some of you actually got together after you went through all this little messy shit. A lot of times getting into relationships can be messy. And it may seem like at one point one or the other of you just weren't dealing with it with compassion, which brings you right back here to the new beginning. And just intellectually chasing some shit around, chasing your thoughts around. And there's some emotional shit there too. But that brings you here. Because all that mental thinking, circular, intellectual among each other, because it's both of you, trying to kick off a new beginning gets you to the waiting game. Because I have a feeling neither one of you right at this moment really know which way you want to go. You know you're moving in a direction, but you're not 100% sure. Taurus, now I'm talking to you. You may not be 100% sure you're going in the right direction with your Scorpio. And for some of you, it may be also that you may think you're not going in the right direction with your Scorpio, and maybe you don't want to go in that direction. All of this, if it's on the table, it's in play. All of this is still thought, though. Those of you that may be long-term thinking, do I really want to stay in this relationship with this person? It's not a lot of you, but you still got those thoughts going around. And it's that intellectual shit. It's the air card. You just kind of circling the wagons on some shit. You haven't really made any decision about what direction. Come on. But you're also not communicating any of this shit. So if I was just going to look at it like this, y'all are really not talking, not a whole lot. And Taurus, this is you. You're kind of biting down on the chomp, and you're like, nope, I'm not going to say shit. I want to figure this shit out on my own. I want to see what direction this is going to go in. Hence, kind of just puts both of you in limbo with the waiting game. Which brings us to the Knight of Coins and the triumphant success. A lot of you may be worried about, the energy is there, so I have to say it. A lot of you may be worried about your finances with your Scorpio. So, this could be vice versa. Scorpio, you could be worried about your Taurus, but it's really resonating more Taurus worrying about your Scorpio. Just maybe not being as diligent about the financial and the business end, and that in turn making you guys not as triumphantly successful as you'd like to be. Others of you, Taurus, you may already be in your success mode professionally, but you may not be real interested in sharing. I said that word. Yes, I did. You may not be real interested in sharing. Your challenge here with your Scorpio for the month. Fuck. I don't know how else to say this shit. Even though you may be kind of in the rekindle phase, you still got this major energy, this major arcana. You still may be just thinking, what the fuck, do I want to share what I got? Or do I want to stay in the situation that I'm in? Maybe just dating. Once again, that waiting game. There's a lot of thought here. Don't get that part fucked up. There's a lot of thought here. Even though there are two air cards on the board, which is the Knight and the Ace, it's still a lot of thinking here. And a lot of processing about what's going on with your relationship. So some of you You may just decide to keep it as it is. I'm going to keep my shit. Keep your shit. And we just going to play this one out. The triumphant success, the whole thing for that is that you'll be successful, Taurus. Now I'm talking to you. In whatever it is that you decide to do. Whether you decide to keep it at a dating status, whether you decide to kick it up a notch, move in, any of those things, you'll be successful, but you just need to work through this process and understand what's being renewed, rekindled, who's, you know, which one of you is really trying to make this shit go. I said that. Kind of just circling the wagons with your thoughts. What are we doing? Is this going to work? I don't know. One day it's me, next day it's you. Trying to have this new beginning, bringing you into your current energy, and you not really wanting to talk about any of this because you're still thinking, Taurus. Get that part fucked up. You're still thinking. Which then brings us here, and this card has just made itself an Oscar award-winning card for the past 6 or 7 days. It shows up everywhere. But it's about you, Taurus, dealing with your truths. And some of you may need to just get with the fact that maybe you don't want a commitment right now. Ooh. There's a Hierophant. And that's all this card is singing about is commitment. Do you want it? How do you want it? Do you want full-blown ring, wedding, all of that? Or is the paradigm shifting for you a little bit, Taurus? I think some of you that may have been dead set on getting married, doing this, that, and the other, having kids, some other shit, you're rethinking things. And let me just put it where it is. Pandemic and much of the protesting can put you in that mindset. You know, do I really want to do something long term? Or what's your truth? That's what you need to get to, Taurus. What is your truth? What is it that's got you staring out the window? What is it that you need to process so you can make a decision about what kind of commitment, this is major energy, you want? Because again, this keeps flying around. Everybody's just kind of circling the wagons. Intellectually, you know, that mind shit, just kind of mind fucking yourself. If I stay, but if I go, that kind of bullshit. That is sitting on top of that, it's no mistake, and that's what you're chomping around. At the bottom of all of this, it's about commitment and what you want. Just saying. You're hopeful. It's in the overall, but you still kind of just, you know, okay, you ready, but you just want to make sure. And it's not even a thing of making sure so much as it is, do I really want to do this? That's kind of the energy that's just flowing out of this. Is that really what you want to do? And this can be on both sides. It doesn't just have to be Taurus. There's some specific things for you, Taurus, but this can be Scorpio too. Do I really want to be in this relationship? How much commitment do I want to put into this? You may be dealing with somebody that has kids, or you may have the kids and the other person doesn't. And you're looking at, do I really want to go through all of this, or do I just want to date this person occasionally or not? That's where you are. When you get to the current, or not the current, the future energy, it's the time out. And most of you are already doing this, but you're doing it in a different kind of way. But when you get a little further into the month, that's exactly what the fuck it will be, a timeout. And you're just going to be trying to look at what the standard is. What do you want the standard to be now? And that'll carry you through to the end of the month, thinking about, what do I want the standard? You know, do I want purple roses, or do I want blue strawberries? What is the standard that I want? What is that thing? What am I reaching for? And then taking the time out, I guess the cards were like, we're not going to send the Hermit out tonight because you talked about us so bad last night. So instead I get the fucking time out card tonight, but that's okay. But that's what it's about. And as you move through this energy, there may be several points where you literally are just going to say, not tonight, baby. Let's hook up tomorrow night, because you do want to journal. And there's a lot of things going on besides your relationship. So you may want to just don't want to. How about we get together on Saturday, knowing full well tomorrow is Tuesday? I'm just saying. That kind of energy. You may just want to pull it back just like that. Again, you're here, but you're not 100% sure what level it is, and you're hopeful. That comes through. When I pick this up, hopeful is still there. All that gold. All that gold. So the timeout, and you may have to do some reassuring to your Scorpio to let them know, I just need to take a break. I need to process all of this. For some of you, you may have had some deeper conversations more recently about just things. I mean, because when you're dealing with the big lifetime issues that we're dealing with in the outside world, talking about a pandemic, and now you've got uprisings and protests, and shit is just changing like every hour, it will make you think about what you're doing and how you want to proceed going forward. And then you, Taurus, you can just, don't forget, Uranus is in your sign. Yeah, that part. All these big changes. There are 6 planets. Today is June 3rd. Today's Wednesday, June 3rd. There are 6 planets in retrograde motion, either right now or will be in the next week. That's a lot of fucking planets. That's a lot of RE. Redo, review, reassess, reevaluating, depending on what planet we're talking about. Jupiter, abundance. Saturn, self-discipline. Venus, love and material things. All this shit, all these planets. Mercury, get ready to go retrograde. Your communication. It will make you stop and think, is this really, especially those of you, like I said, we're talking out of 2 years. So if you've been in your relationship longer than 2 years, probably not for you. But anything less than 2 years, you're probably thinking that. And you're probably right at that point, if you've been doing this at least a year, where you're thinking, okay, are we going to keep going forward? Or we going to hit the brakes on this shit, call it quits? Or we going to do something else? So the timeout, wherever you can see spots this month, Taurus, to take the time out from your relationship and really sit down and think about what you want. That is not to say that you need to be doing everything by yourself and that you need to be doing all the thinking by yourself, because again, this is a relationship with you and your Scorpio. So if it's on the table, what I say is in play, you may need to come out of this, I'm hiding in my shell, I don't want to talk, I want to think. You may need to come out of that intellectual circling the wagons and shit, thinking, overthinking, and just crazy shit, and start communicating to your Scorpio so y'all can get to the root of what's going on. I have a feeling many of you have that conversation with your Scorpio, you find out where they land in the commitment arena, because they may be feeling the change as well. I'm pretty sure they are. But if you don't communicate that with them, they're not gonna know. More future energy. Dun, dun. Triumph. But the triumph comes when you decide to walk away from some aspect of something going on in your life. And this is not necessarily saying walking away from your Scorpio, or Scorpio, you walking away from your Taurus. In order to proceed the way that you want to proceed. You put it like that. So those of you that are going to decide, we're just going to date for a while and just wait till next year and check it out again. You may have to walk away from full-time commitment. Yeah, I said it. The triumph comes, though, when you walk away from whatever that is. So if you've been just emotionally struggling, she's on the board, she's in play, and kind of got that messy shit going on. This is Scorpio's energy here, but nonetheless, about your relationship with your Scorpio, you just do messy and not clear. You may very well decide that you're going to walk away from a heavy duty commitment. Once you make that decision, though, and keep that there, pat out, you get all of that, which brings us then right back here. And so I think once you go through all this thinking and processing and talking, whenever Taurus decides to open up, you will find out there's levels of synchronicity here, and that you are in a karmic situation and there's things that need to be completed. This is way at the end of the month, trust me, even though it's kind of throttling around now. But you're going to have to go through all of this. I know y'all like, but yeah, yeah. You're going to go through all of this to get here. And then it's what I said at the beginning. You may realize that there's more here than just the yoki doki type shit. And there is a connection that needs to stay intact. Because of this, I don't think you're going to split up. If you do, it's not going to be any kind of long-term thing. It might be a day or two, a week or two, maybe a month or two, but it's not going to be some long. The synchronicity is going to put it right in your face, because they're just going to show up, or you're just going to show up at just the right time, or something is going to be said just the right time. It's not all bad. This has really got a lot of growth in it, which is, for me, in this card, is kind of unusual. Usually there's prickly heat type shit, you know? Like a cactus. It's just a little shit prodding you because it's fucking karmic shit and you just tied up and you can't get loose. Your booty's burning and some more shit. And all of this just happens to be, can we get it over here? No, it's too far back. It's an eyeball. What the hell? But it's the same thing. Booty burning, tied up, just that prickly shit. Not this time. Not this time. There's a lot of growth. And the growth between the two of you, and let me say this, some of you, at the end of all of this, when you get to the end of this cycle that you're in with your Scorpio, some of you may seriously break it up and find out that you're actually better as best friends. I'm just saying, I know some of y'all like, yeah. But you're changing. And Taurus, if you're honest, you're probably changing faster than you thought you would. I'm sure most of you are not thinking the way you were thinking in December. Matter of fact, I guarantee you are not. Too many things have changed in everybody's life. So this is not bad in and of itself. It's got a lot of growth here. But again, you're going to have to work through the mechanics of this with your Scorpio to get to this point. To even get to this point of saying, okay, I want it this way, and we're going to have to walk away from some part of the commitment. I might have to walk away from some part of the commitment. For some of you, it might be, I got kids, so we're just going to keep it on the low, and, I'll catch you when I catch you. This is not a breakup, but I just need to take, it's on the board, it's in play. It's got to take that fucking time out, because I need to get my shit together, or maybe you need to get your shit together. We're going to keep doing this, but I'm going to walk away from that aspect of it. And then you'll find out, pow! And there's some synchronicity. It's not a bad reading. It's complicated, I know. And I know I said a lot of contradictory things, but that's the energy. If you're living in this or any part of it, you get it. If you don't get it, it's probably not for you. I'm just saying. And that's okay. My feelings don't get hurt like that. I'm just grateful I got anybody watching, so it's okay. I'm not going to get hurt feelings because you're not watching. But for those of you that this is resonating with, you get all the little pieces and parts, and you know how you're thinking about this. And you love your Scorpio, so let me just put that out there for those of you that are cross-watching, like, she makes it sound like Taurus, I'm really getting fucked about me. Nah, that ain't what I'm saying. Taurus has got to go through this process, though, Scorpio, if you are cross-watching. And Taurus, if you're listening, you've got to go through this process. You got to go through it to get to it. There are things that you still need to learn about yourself. Look at the singularity on this board. Single, 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 single. There are only 2 cards on the board with more than one person. So with that said, it's a lot about you thinking about how you're growing. A lot of you thinking about, if we do this long term, where's the money coming from? How much money are we going to have? Conversations, are we going to have children? And towards you just really getting to the truth of some shit. And the current energy that we're in right now, facing your fears is probably as easy as it's going to get this year. As I said last night, I forget who I do, Taurus and Aries. Once we come out of all these retrogrades, time we get to September for sure. And I just looked at the charts. There's a lot of planets going retrograde all year, and not just for a couple weeks, 2-3 months. Like, damn, really? I'm gonna say by the time we get August, September, time to put them sneakers on. For other Tauruses, I think April Tauruses, by the time we get to the end of July, it's gonna be time on and popping. All kind of shit's gonna be happening. Some of you may be moving, some of you may be pregnant, some of you may be going back to school online, which will be totally new experience for many of you. Some of you may be getting your grandkids. A whole lot of scenarios, got a whole lot of feet here. Some of you may be taking care of your parents, and your Scorpio, just kind of, going along for the ride. Your Scorpio loves you, Taurus. Don't forget that part. And Scorpio know that Taurus loves you. But got to go through this thinking process and analyzing and weighing shit out. Taurus, you may have a Libra in your experience, not in a romantic sense, but they may be able to aid you and offer you some insight about what's going on in your relationship. So it could be anybody. It could be a close friend. It might be a coworker. It might be someone in your immediate family, mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever. Especially when it comes to discussing the commitment and what kinds of commitment or commitments there are. Because it doesn't have to just be, oh, we get married. That's not the only relationship. A lot of people that live together. There are a lot of people that have been dating a very long time, that live on opposite ends of the damn city, and they see each other 2 times a week. There are lots of ways to do shit. But you're going to have to go through this process and figure out what it is that you want ultimately. And don't forget to include your Scorpio. Listen. You need to open up, Taurus. You need to put all this head in the sand type shit. That's so not you, but I get it. And just open up. I know the change and the amount of change is incredible, but you need to open up, start talking, and start listening. And again, if there's someone that you can reach out to, listen to what they have to say. It will be helpful. I don't know why Libra's poking around, whoever that's resonating with. Ask your spirit helpers. See that cup of tea? Only thing missing is a journal and a pen. Ask your spirit helpers to show you what you need to see about what you want in a commitment with your Scorpio. They will show you, they'll throw shit in your path and help you understand what it is you need to understand about your relationship and about yourself. Just put all that out there. And then as you're listening, make a note of what's being said, literally. Make a note of how you're feeling. That's how you're going to get down here to this part. Because that's really the good part. I know y'all like, nah, that ain't. Yeah, that's really going to be the good part. When you realize there's some karmic shit here. And don't just jump to this. There's no pass and go and not collecting your $200. You got to go through all of this. If you miss parts of this, okay, but if you're missing big chunks of this, you're not going to get here. You're not going to get here. And if you're walking away, once you make a decision about what part of the relationship you're going to walk away from, because there's a part of this you're going to walk away from, and it may be on the reverse end, you've been a little loosey-goosey. Maybe Scorpio's been a little loosey-goosey and everybody been kind of, over here and over there, and you may decide to walk away from that behavior. However, whatever it is that you need to walk away from, it'll be successful. But make a note of how you're feeling as you're going through the process. Let's see. I'll do the Rebel cards tonight. Haven't done those in a few days. Seems like they've got things to say tonight. Taurus and Scorpio. Not a bad reading. A little complicated, but not bad. Pretty much summing it up. Step away from the crazy making diet for a hot second. Kale and spirulina taste like ass. Eat some yummy shit. Bacon, chocolate, beer. Get some. And that's all in a spirit of taking some time. Get on this grind. Everybody gets on the grind. Oh, I got to diet, and then we're back to work, and then we're through the pandemic, and I need a mask, and I need PPE, and there's kids, and they're online. Yeah. Eat some fucking food. Some real shit. That shit is not good for you. Take a minute. I know a lot of y'all like, we just got out of quarantine and I gained 200 pounds. Yeah. Regardless. Take a break from the grind. And it says step away from the crazy making diet. I'm going to just say step away from the crazy making for a moment. And do some shit you want to do. It don't have to be the food. It can be something else. But once again, time out. Time out. Take that time out. And kind of get some perspective on what's going on. Keep that shit to yourself. I love being criticized. Said no one ever. Keep that shit to yourself. I love being criticized. Said no one ever. So, if and when you do decide to open up, listen first, and then say what you need to say. But don't be critical. You know, Scorpio going through their shit too. Let's not forget, everybody going through some shit right now. So don't come off. And I'm a Taurus. I know sometimes I just have a tendency to engage engine, and I don't think, because I'm just saying what I feel, and that's okay. And you should always say how you feel, but sometimes we can get a little critical. You know, while we saying how we feel, we got to throw in 2 or 3 other things. Be mindful. Be mindful. And don't let the criticism take over. Keep that shit to yourself. I'm just saying. Deal with your drama. Handle exes, old hurts, and unresolved shit. Damn, cards just don't be lying. There's a timeout again. Please don't fall, cards. There's a timeout again. There's a timeout again. Exes, deal with your shit. Those of you that may have some messy problem processing type shit, deal with your drama. Any unresolved old hurts. That shit right there. Deal with your shit. Just deal with it. If it's unresolved, just deal with it. Don't bring drama into, you know, a lot of times when we're processing things and trying to work through things and think through things and figure out where we want shit to go, you know, we come with the bullshit. You know, if it had been so, I could have you know what, leave that shit at the door. Nobody want to hear that bullshit. And Scorpio is sensitive to this type of shit. So keep all the extra drama just down to a damn dog war, Taurus. And Scorpio, I'm going to throw that back on you too. You got extra shit. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Handle, just resolve all that drama. Because you're not trying to bring whatever level of relationship you're trying to have here. You're not trying to bring all of that here. You need to just deal with the relationship and where you stand, not where you stand along with your exes and your cousin who didn't call you back to leave all that shit at the door. Deal with you, Taurus, and your Scorpio. Leave everybody else out. I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys. I hope everybody stays safe. Have a good rest of the week, y'all. Bye.